today we are going to discuss about the Prisma crash course. Okay, so this course, crashed course. So what things are going to cover about in this course? Okay, first I will tell you what is the connectivity between your. Okay, I will tell you why Prisma is popular. Second thing I will tell you what is the architecture architecture of Prisma, right? Second thing, type of connectivity available in Prisma. Okay, so let me start one by one. Why Prisma is popular, guys? I will tell you first of all architecture point of view. Okay, so you understand that how legacy, or I can say on-premises device are working, right? Suppose this is your office network, okay, and your office in Noida, suppose, right? Here, your company Palo Alto is there, right? Palo Alto is there. Now, now what you want? You want that when user in the office, you want to suppose block Facebook here, facebook.com. If user trying to access this URL from the office network, the traffic should go via Palo Alto because here you already blocked, so traffic drop here, right? Same scenario, suppose you back to home, connected with the internet, right? And now you are able to access facebook.com. So now this should be accessible. The reason behind that is because now you are connected with your home Wi-Fi, right? Home Wi-Fi, where no Palo Alto is coming here, right? So I'm just giving example of facebook.com. Maybe you can take example of any malicious website, right? Maybe you can visit it on ransomware website and download the ransomware into your laptop, and it may be execute next day, visit it to the office, and that ransomware flooded all over your company network, right? So you can see how many risk if you are not secure when you are connecting from home. Okay, some people can say that I will use GlobalProtect as a VPN to protect the traffic, and I am agree with them that the GlobalProtect may be capable to send all traffic to the Palo Alto. And suppose example of facebook.com, right? If user access facebook.com, traffic first go on the Palo Alto, then it will check whether Facebook is allow or block. If it's allow, will send to the facebook.com. Is if it's blocked, it will drop here. That is also fulfill my requirement. But the problem is, guys, if you have a one or two or maybe 100 of user, suppose you have a 50,000 user, and you given all kind of this connectivity to them, right? How then it will be look like? Suppose user in your head office in India, right? Noida location. User is belongs to US location, New York, right? So if all user trying to hit this website from their laptop, now what will be happen? The request actually landed on the all on the Palo Alto itself, right? Because you are using GlobalProtect full enforcement mode, right? So full enforcement mode means, guys, you are sending all traffic to the Palo Alto after it will go to the internet. So your users are secure, of course, because traffic landed on the Palo Alto. But the problem is, when you are sending your all users traffic to the Palo Alto, so there is two problem, right? So one problem is your data center bandwidth will be choked, right? Because you unnecessarily sending your all traffic. And again, if user is 50,000, that is very difficult to manage, right? If user is watching YouTube and you are sending that traffic to your data center just because of you want to security, that is not okay, right? You cannot utilize the bandwidth of your data center because of you just doing unnecessary thing, right? Now, and again, suppose you are the stock broker company, right? maybe selling stocks and purchasing stocks, share market. So you, because of your employee or utilization 100% of your data center bandwidth, so whoever your actual customer who's paying for you, they will not access that website, right? They will not sell or purchase the stocks, right? So it means that that means your business also lost. So is it not feasible solution, right? now now second part is, suppose user connecting from US to India, so there is actually connection going by undersea. Undersea means basically there is a latency between US to India, right? Because traffic will go by undersea, so there is a latency, maybe 300 400 ms, right? Which is the estimate latency. Is it not like is a problem with the Palo Alto? Because traffic going by undersea will be of course take latency, right? So if user trying to access 25 MB file and it will take more than 1 hour or 30 minutes, right? It does not make sense. User cannot wait for 30 or 1 hour just download 25 MB file, right? So this is again one of the challenge. Okay. So now because of, I will tell you summarize that whatever I'm explaining is, so when user working from office, the all enforcement is there. There is no problem with that. But same time, if user go back to home and start working on that, so the enforcement of your company policy is not applicable on user machine because user connected with their personal Wi-Fi. Okay, so the gap is user only only say when they are in office. The problem with that is user actually hold the company asset, so you cannot take a risk even you are purchasing lot of spending lot of money on the network devices like firewall, BAF, everything, but still you are not secure. Because of user working from home, they will connect to the Wi-Fi and whatever they want they will access, right? Again, the example of if you are using fully split tunnel, suppose you want to send all traffic to the data center through GlobalProtect or any connect, your traffic will secure because your traffic landed on Palo Alto or Cisco or whatever device firewall you are using, and then it will go to the internet. But the problem is when you use that kind of architecture, the problem is that user can your data center use the higher bandwidth utilization. In that case what will be happen, in that case what will be happen, your data center should be choked, right? So there is a gap in the market which covered by the Prisma, okay, and Zscaler both, okay, Prisma, Palo Alto Prisma SASE solution, right? SASE, SASE, okay. So how this come in picture and cover that gap? Now suppose you are in India, okay, you are in India, the nearest data center of Prisma is the Mumbai, okay, and maybe in US their data center in New York. I'm just giving the example, this is not exactly, maybe we need to look up that, okay. So now when I configure Facebook block here on the Prisma cloud, by the way that Prisma Palo Alto showing Prisma Pop, Palo Alto Pops Mumbai data center, okay, point of reference. Now if you block facebook.com, what Prisma does, Prisma sync that policy in their all over globe. New York, Israel, they have a data center in Russia, they have data center in China, right? So all data center will be know about your policy Facebook block. Okay. So suppose user connecting from Israel, Tel Aviv, okay. Take example of Tel Aviv. If user connected with the Tel Aviv, and because user belongs to Israel, so nearest data center of Prisma is the or Palo Alto is the Israel, okay, Tel Aviv. So user directly connected with this. Okay, one thing is user have connected with the local their own data center of Palo Alto, which is near to the user. Okay. Second thing, the policy which you define Mumbai Facebook block, that also enforce on the Tel Aviv. So for for this user it seems like local, right? because Tel Aviv data center of Prisma is know about your all policies which you configure on the Mumbai, and it will be all applicable on the user here. Suppose some user belongs to US, right? They again they connected to the New York data center of Prisma, right? Now what will be happen? This laptop will know about, or this basically New York data center of Prisma already aware about whatever policy you configure here. So it will be, of course, Facebook should be Facebook block rule also there in the New York, in the Tel Aviv, in the Mumbai. So ideally what happened previously, you need to connect on the data center of your company, then it will go to the internet. The difference here, your traffic directly passing via that nearest data center of Prisma without giving any latency. You can see the benefit of that, right? So this is all about the architecture, okay. Then again, Prisma is saying some of the concept, okay. So they define into that concept in three component, in three part. One is the mobile users. Mobile users, what is that? Mobile user means any user connecting from remote through GlobalProtect, GlobalProtect, they all are the remote users, okay. So Prisma is saying that those are the mobile users who connected from the remote anywhere in the world. They connected with the nearest data center of Zscaler, then it will go to the internet, right? Now the second type of deployment is called a remote network. Remote network. So what is that? A remote network means if you have a branch office, right? If you have a branch office, suppose I given the example of Mumbai, right? You have a Mumbai head office, maybe you have Delhi branch office, maybe one is the Noida branch office, right? Now, if you are connecting through Prisma, funded this connection from the Delhi to the Mumbai and Mumbai to Noida, these are the kind of connection called a remote network access, okay. So what it does, it will establish IPsec tunnel between your Delhi office to Mumbai Prisma POP, okay, and it automatically establishes again from Mumbai to this whatever the Prisma nearest Prisma, and it will be take care of that connectivity. You can access, or these users are access the private applications which sitting in your Mumbai data center. So how it happens? The connectivity from IPsec from your Noida office, Delhi office to the, this is suppose Delhi POP of Zscaler Prisma. So this connected to this POP. You are in Noida. You also connected to the this Prisma POP. Now this POP Prisma automatically talk to your head office which sitting in Mumbai. Okay, this is your head office Mumbai. So now whatever the server sitting behind that, these are maybe private applications which is accessible, not accessible via internet. Now you have a connectivity called this called as a remote network, okay. This automatically reaching from both Delhi and Bangalore office to your head office private application. Suppose in Noida office there is a user who print one page in the Mumbai office, their printer sitting in Mumbai. So it will be reached from the Delhi data center to the Mumbai data center, and then it will go to their head office and print that page. How this possible? The connectivity from the Mumbai POP or Prisma to your head office called a service connection. So what is service connection? Okay. So service connection is means whenever you are connecting your head office to the nearest data center of Prisma through IPsec, this connection called a service connection, okay. So anything landed on this data center going to your head office should be go by a service connection. So I don't want confuse you guys, let me summarize. What is the mobile users? Mobile users are those, okay, who connected remotely through GlobalProtect. GlobalProtect is just the .exe file software which you install on the end user machine. End user machine directly communicate the tunnel to the Prisma. Second one is network, okay, remote network, remote network. Third one is the service connection. Okay, service connection happen between your data center, okay, to the nearest Zscaler Prisma POP. Okay, that called a service connection. Network connection is your all branch connector connect IPsec connectivity to the nearest data center of Zscaler. Prisma is called a remote network. Okay. Now some people are saying that infrastructure subnet. What is that? Infrastructure subnet. Okay. So what is that? So when you are defining BGP, basically recommended by Zscaler, through infrastructure subnet, you require some dedicated subnet which you can assign to the Prisma. So when you are talking to your Prisma POP to the data center or your head office, that always from the Prisma side, it will always talk to the infrastructure subnet. So this should not overlap with your network. Okay. Now what I'm saying is, guys, let me tell you. Okay, I explained the same thing, right? You can see here that Prisma Access is the Palo Alto Cloud Delivery SASE platform. It runs same NGFW engine, FRD, URL filtering, wildfire threat prevention across 100 plus global data center. So what is the POP? POP is showing that POPs means point of presence. Okay. So whatever data center all over globe of the this Palo Alto Prisma called as a POP instead of physical box, right? So whatever I'm saying, guys, let me go back to lab. Okay. So how you can see that? Okay, so our class is hard coded depend upon Prisma. Okay, so if we go here under the configuration, right, I will tell you, suppose you got a new device, or think like on interview perspective, as well as think like this is, if you get a blank device, what you need to do, right? So you can see these are the option inside strata, canvas, AI security, incident, log viewer, and this is the configuration. If you click on configuration, under that you can see the second option called ngfw and Prisma Access, right? If you click on there, right, if you click on there, you got it that those options. Right, now what you need to do, right, suppose you want to configure the, you can see I told you the, right, if you want to configure the mobile users, right, suppose you have a requirement to configure the mobile users whoever working from home. So like your legacy or on premises firewall, it is work like in the same way. Okay, so if I click here, right, let me start from configuration of Prisma GlobalProtect, right? So if you can go here, okay, and let me reset all everything, then I will give you the new configuration. Okay, if I reset everything, I clear first configuration. Okay, now you got that. Now suppose you got a new device, you need to configure the global protect. Now what you need to do, you can click here. Okay, under global protect you can click. Now you got a first option called infrastructure setting. What you need to define here, if you click on that, right, it will ask you that what actually detail you require. You define the portal, right? Portal means when your user, okay, so this is a publicly accessible, right? When your user connected with the internet, they are first time trying to hitting on the global protect, so they will use that URL. This will going to public URL. Okay, right? So now if you click default domain, if you have custom domain, you can keep it default as people are using, right? Now you can select protocol settings for global protect TLS 1.2 to TLS 1.3. TLS 1.0 is not there, and even 1.1 because that is a lot of vulnerability against that. So you can pick up 1.2 to 1.3. Okay. Now this is the interesting, right, guys? You can keep it the default DNS. If you have a custom DNS, right, you want to use the, suppose Google DNS, right? Palo Alto have own DNS. you don't worry about that, otherwise you keep it like that. Okay, so it's okay because Palo Alto also provides some DNS security, right? Now, if you see client IP pool, what is that? Client IP pool means that you guys know that that is a split tunnel. If you are comparing with the on premises, right? This is the part of where you are defining client pool, right? So what you can do here, you can just click on that and you just define like that. Okay. Suppose whatever subnet your company are using, keep it default is also okay. I can use like this 172.16.0.0/23, right? I use this subnet as a IP pool. Okay. If you are using IPv6, keep it enable, otherwise leave it at. Okay. Now you can see these are the gateway of FQDN. You don't worry, for now you just delete that, because once you save that, this maybe is your default domain for your internet users, right? So keep it removed. Now I'm just saving that. Okay, you can see I just saved the infrastructure setting first. You can see this URL is make a public available. This URL you can given to your user who were accessing from remote. Okay, they are hitting on that, they got a login prompt, username and password, right? Once they get it, they will log in with that, download the this one, and they are start working, right? Now you also add the location, right? What is that location? Location means, suppose you know that your user may be coming from India, US, right? Or these locations, so you can pick only those locations whoever you are really interested or your user is belongs to, right? If you can see in India, these are the all data centers pop of the Prisma. I told you, right, guys? So you can see this is the North India, Delhi. You can select Mumbai, you can select the Chennai, right? So I select 3 data center because I'm in India, so my most of the user are coming from India, right? So I have done that, right? Now if you enable the location, now we'll see the location is showing in Asia. I selected 3, right? Now authentication method, you can define the user, right? Suppose you can define, this is the basically filter as well criteria, right? Because this URL techclick.global, gcloudservices.com is actually accessible from internet, right? So you can make sure that the user, whoever your actual user, can hitting on that URL. Suppose you are not sure, or you haven't any user who has the MacBook, right? So you can just keep it only Windows, right? I want, because I have all user Windows. So if you are using any authentication method, SML, Radius, LDAP, TechX, I can keep it as a local, right? Profile is also you can select as a local. Otherwise, you can select a new profile. That is fine totally. Okay. If you have a more, suppose Mac OS, Android, iPhone, iPad, Linux, you can add this authentication profile and start continue like that. Now you can go GlobalProtect application. So what is that? Okay, so you got a 2 option here. One is the app setting. Okay, so under app setting, what you need to do? Okay, let me add new app setting. Okay, so app setting is nothing. It is just setting which you want to putting on your individual machine. App settings. Okay, this is the app settings we are using for testing, right? Keep it always description meaningful, right? So that if somebody is checking something, they understand, right? Okay, now we will see the criteria, right? Which OS your user belongs to, because again, guys, this is the publicly accessible, right? So you can keep note that the OS which you are defining is that is proper, OS which actually your user belongs to, right? So I know that my most of the user are belongs to Windows and Mac, so I can call both, right? Now, if you want to more secure or using Active Directory does not match with the Active Directory, you want to do something like that, you can put it, but keep it as a normal. Generate authentication key. What is that? Generate cookies for authentication, right? So you don't want your user is suppose log out their system and go for lunch, again get they back on the system, they are getting pop-up to log in again, right? So if you don't want that kind of pop-up user getting again and again, they will be frustrated, right? So you can use that, tick that, and keep it that this authentication cookies, because it's require the authentication between user laptop to this. Now how many days you want to that happen, like cookies based authentication, I put it as a Monday to Friday, 5 days, right? Now you if you are work on the Palo Alto, you know that always on. What is that? Always on means when you're logged in on the machine, the Global Protect automatically connected, even the not allow anything without Global Protect, right? So you can select always on. If you are suppose select pre-login, what is that? Pre-login means even before user login on the laptop, they will connect with the Global Protect, right? So disable Global Protect, what is that? If you want, end user can disable the Global Protect, right? You can select passcode, because you sometime because of troubleshooting you may be stuck and you want to check whether traffic is, suppose in the scenario where user is complaining that after connecting to the global product I'm unable to access that website. So how you can prove that that is not an issue with this Prisma, right? So you can disable the Prisma and test with the open internet, and if you can see whether what is the behavior of the traffic, right? Now again you also get it option upgrade global product. So if you want, user can upgrade. When user got a prompt that I'm talking about the global protect software upgrade, right? In user get at the pop-up whether I can update or not, right? Okay. Now you can go here under the welcome page. So everyone have using own welcome page, right? When you log in on that, you got user can see your company logo. They will see that welcome to the XYZ company, right? Like that. Okay, so this is the Prisma address for external gateway. Keep it that same. We are not using any internal gateway. Okay, and we even not using any HIP profile. HIP profile is just you can say that is the compliance part, posturing part, right? Now I saved that. Okay, I saved that setting. Okay. Now what next? Now what I need to do is now I can start to use configuring tunnel setting. Okay, what is that tunnel setting? Let me add the tunnel setting. Okay, so here also you can define how the tunnel is react, right? Tunnel setting for testing, right? This tunnel setting I will use for testing, right? Okay, this tunnel setting you can use like that. Now you can get it the same option like OS match, right? Which OS your employees are using. See again, this is the external URL, so you can use more security, right? So you click on that, use the option Mac OS, right? User identity, if you have anything, keep it same. Okay. Here you can define that region. Suppose you know that your all remote user belongs to India. So you can put it India, right? Like this. Or your user belongs to US. So you can select United States. So this is like your same filter which you get it in United States, right? This one. So your two countries are added as a source. If you have any public IP, public IP, you can put it that as well. Now get it same option here to authentication override, right? You can select 5 days. Same settings are there as well. You can define block internal access network. Suppose user connected with the global product, okay, and you want user cannot even access their home local router login page. So you can select that option, okay. Now, if what traffic you want to exclude from this tunnel, right? Suppose you don't want that traffic will go via this color, sorry, Prisma. Then you can exclude that domain. I don't want that. Suppose google.com traffic go via this one, right? I can select and add that, right? Exclude the access route as well. Suppose you want your traffic will not going via Prisma, you can encode that. Okay, so that's it. That's all setting you require. Now you can see GlobalProtect version which you are going to use. IPsec is enabled. If you want, you can change those settings as well, right? So GlobalProtect app version, you can decide this one, right? Agent override key is not required. You can enable IPsec because IPsec is happening between your laptop to this Prisma cloud, right? Automatically. So keep it default, okay? Now let me see if that is accessible or not. Still not, okay, that's fine. I need to push it the configuration like your Palo Alto in the same way. Then after it will work, right? So I can push it that. If I go here under the push configuration, right, I can click on that. Then I go test push config, right? If I keep the select the global product dealing with that now. If I click on push, right, so the application start pushing that. So we can wait for some time. Once it fixed, then I will go ahead. Okay, you can see that it's going on, right? Verification is okay, right? You can see that validation is completed. Now it's pending for push it, right? Okay, is it take time, guys? Because it's take a lot of time. Okay, so let me do something else now. Okay, so once it's established, what you need to do next? If you see, guys, this is like your firewall, right? You can whatever you want, you can do, right? Suppose I want to do URL filtering, right? So you can see that URL access management. If you click here, right, and I want to block some custom URLs, right? Suppose is it same like your legacy firewall or on-premises firewall? URL block custom list, right? So when user connected with that, this is the custom URL blocking list. Okay, you can select that. Okay, I just create test.com should be a block, right? I create this policy right now, where I can call it at, if I go to the rule, right? If you, I can go to that rule, security policies. Okay. So now suppose I'm the user. Okay. So I create a security rule called block test.com, block test URL, right? This rule, this rule we can use to block test test.com, right? Now it's enable it is same like your own business, right? You can create a name, define the description. Now you define the zone where you belongs to. Is it the untrust? So trust user is belongs to trust zone. Okay. If you have any address of user or put any is okay. User, if you know the user, you can select it, right? If GlobalProtect is using, then must, yeah, user should be there. So you can see I picked with my username Ram, right? Now device is any, suppose you have any device which Windows, Mac, right? Keep it any. Applications, which application? I want to put any, okay? Otherwise you can select suppose Dropbox, right? You want Dropbox, you can see Dropbox, right? So is it same like your own premises, right? You can block it, but keep it at any. I don't want block because I already I will using under the URL filtering this particular URL, right? If you select this one, okay, and I need HTTPS both here, right? Now if you select the URL category, right, that is interesting, right? So let me see that as custom is name is there. Okay, you can see URL block custom. I call test.com here, right? Now I can call it as a test.com, right? Zone destination, about destination is untrust, right? Because that is the internet zone. Address is any, device is any, right? Connection, tenant restriction. If anything add, I like that. Otherwise, you can put it at tenant restriction as well. Leave it at. Now action, I want to deny that rule, right? Deny, and you can use the best practice. Otherwise, that is the security groups. So keep it safe. Now you can see now your policy is there, right? Like it's look like your firewall, right? If it's okay, it's great if if my portal is configured, then I should get it that you can see login page, right? Okay, you can see I got a login page. Cool, man, good. So if I get it like that, let me authenticate. Maybe IBM. Okay, so my global protect is configured. By the way, I haven't username and password properly, so that's why maybe I need a local username on that. Okay, let me see. So you can see, guys, how easy you can create, right? So it's very simple, right? If you work on on-premises devices on the Palo Alto, then you can take care of that. This is not very difficult, right? Now, guys, come on the same point, right? So now this URL is publicly accessible. Now user can put in their username and password, download the global protect, connect with that, and whatever policy I define that start intercepting. The good part is user knows connect to office firewall. Instead of they will connect to the, if user belongs to Delhi location, they will connect to Delhi pop-up Palo Alto Prisma. If user belongs to Mumbai data center, they will connect with that Mumbai pop. If user belongs to Chennai, Bangalore, they will connect with Chennai or Bangalore, right? So this is how, guys, it is important to avoid the latencies, right? Now the next part, okay, if you can go here, this is the remote network. If branch office is connected with your how- now, okay, what option called add site, right? If you add site, this is again type of connectivity. Remote network means the user, the office, you have a Mumbai is the main office, Delhi is the sub office, right? and maybe Noida is the third office. So if you want to connect those offices each other, how you can create that, right? So I can put it like branch Delhi site. Site name, we can search it. This is this right? Address Delhi, maybe put New Delhi, right? Actually, this is required, by the way, for New Delhi. This is required for Palo Alto to understand your physical location, right? So can define that. Now it is saying that I identify North India, right? So it automatically detected the nearest data center of that. You can see. Now, if you go next, right? So please choose the license. Okay. So medium up to there, this requires a license, right? So it will be saying that I have active passive. So because of security, basically what you are doing, you are creating IPsec tunnel between Delhi office to the nearest data center of Prisma. POP is the Delhi itself, but it is showing that I will create a two tunnel. If this tunnel got failed, the traffic should be shifted on Indian North, right, or West Mumbai, right? So you can keep it that active passive. It is saying that one tunnel is configured, okay, and second, you don't need to do anything. Keep it next. Please complete the tunnel configuration. Okay. So let me configure primary tunnel. This is again same information, tunnel config. Okay. Whatever, share the pre-shared key, right? Suppose pre-shared CCNA, right? CCNA, CCNA, right? Now local IP, keep it local IP. These static IP can put an of your vendor, your office network where your firewall hosted, right? So Delhi office, Delhi your office, right? 1.1.1.1. If you are using tunnel monitoring, that's fine. If you have a proxy ID, right, keep it at proxy ID. If you have your site private IP address is suppose 1.1.1.1, remote site 8.8.8.8, right? So you can add that, right? Now you can create that tunnel. That's it. Now your tunnel is created. Now if you go next, right? If you know that routing, right, what is the next step? What is the subnet you are trying to add? The IP subnet that you want to secure at the site, right? So I want to add subnet called 192.168.1.0/24, right? Keep it that subnet as it is. Now your site is created, guys. Now you have a tunnel, right? This is the branch side. You created the tunnel. Great. Okay. Now third option is suppose you want to create inbound traffic. Inbound means if traffic coming from your branch office to your on-premises network means if you want to traffic going from Delhi office to Mumbai office, okay, like you are established site to site tunnel between two firewall between two head office and branch office. This is the inbound in the same direction. It will incoming traffic from your branch office to head office. Okay, good guys. Okay, now let me go with the service route. Okay, third one is a service connection. Okay, service connection is also part of, you can say that what is the connectivity between your on premises to the nearest Prisma POP. So my head office in Mumbai. So of course I will establish IPsec tunnel between Mumbai data center of Prisma POP to my data center, which is my Mumbai office, right? So you can click on the service connection, right? You need to create a new service connection, right? So add a service connection, right? Now preferred from region, I can pick, right, my location in India, and India I have a north location or southwest. I can go with the Mumbai, maybe part of best location, so I keep it. If you are using netting, the data source net, suppose you want traffic leaving, not actual traffic, you keep it, otherwise leave it at netting is not required. Now you can establish primary tunnel here. So what is that tunnel? This tunnel actually you need to establish same. This is again IPsec tunnel. So same parameter you can call it, right? Same IP you can call it, everything you can call it, and then you can put in the routing as well, right? So if you want to put static route, that's fine. Otherwise you can put it the static routing, right? You just add the subnet. That's it. Let me add the subnet. Okay. So subnet means what? You have a subnet of your internal internal network, right? Which you want to talk, right? 192.168.1.0/24. Okay, so this is my Mumbai data center internal subnet, right? I define that. Now once I save it, this service route is configured. Now I can see that once I push it at, I mentioned that because it is all settings are always whatever the changes you are doing, keep it select by. Now I selected the service. Again guys, this is also take time, so okay, it should be validate, then it should be push it and create new instance into time 15 or 20 minutes, so don't worry about that. You can see the verification is done. So that is for Prisma. Okay, if you have any follow-up question, you guys maybe say that how can check it the status. Okay, then you can go here under insight. Okay, Prisma access option. If you select on data center, this will give you the visibility of service connection. Okay, from your data center to the nearest Prisma. It is down because we haven't a data center, right? You can see that it is showing up or down, whatever the you want to see that Prisma access location, right? So whatever location we define, it all location are there. We have remote access, we have GlobalProtect, we have okay. These are the locations. Asia, west, south, north, right? West is Mumbai, south is the Chennai, north is the Delhi, right? Even you can see that GlobalProtect user, how many users are connected. We have right now so showing no, right? Now you also see the branch site status, right? If you how many tunnels are established, right? You can see we have 3 tunnels, right? In that branch office, all are showing one is down, all are unknown, right? So in the production, it will give you all more insight of that, right? If you want to more, getting logs, so you can explore more about that, right? So okay, thank you guys for